Trevor, for agreeing to be our student in residence on these sessions. And just to lay out the backdrop of what we're going to do, we are having a look at the simple approach to understanding music in terms of guitar playing with the aim of becoming improvisers. That's it in a nutshell. And so we're going to look at the three areas that I like to focus in on: melody, harmony and rhythm. Once we understand melody, harmony and rhythm and all the intricacies involved, we have enough resources in our thinking that we can pull from to improvise. So what we'll be doing, we'll be looking at each of those, and then we will be starting to improvise. Look at it from the very beginning. So if you're happy, let's start.
I'm ready.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to do in terms of melody, melodies are a series of random notes played consecutively, one after another. And the simplest way we look at a melody is we look at the scale. And we are going to start by looking at the major scale, but with an additional tone at the end. Okay. The major scale normally consists of 8 tones, an octave, but we are going to add the 9th tone at the end and then come back.
Okay.
So pick a scale, pick a key center.
Wow, I've nothing against C major.
Okay, let's do C major. We are going to play the C major scale, but you're going to go from C to C and then add the extra D on and then come back to the original C.
Okay.
Please demonstrate.
Oh dear. Right. So there's a few C's to choose from.
Good point.
So I could choose this C
Let's start with that one.
or this one.
We're going to use both of them, so
We'll try with this one.
of you. Perfect. There you have your C scale with the added 9th. Good. Now, will you please play that same scale again, but from the second position which you identified,
Right.
which is the 3rd fret on the A
Okay.
string. That's it. Okay, good. So there's your melody encapsulated with the C scale, adding the extra 9th tone at the end and coming back down.
There seems so many different ways you can play the different scales. I mean, we've just done 2, but there are, like some book I have is like 5, for instance. And so it would be helpful to know which to use when, and perhaps they connect to each other as well, do they?
Yes, some schools of thought suggest when we practice scales, we should practice at least 2 octaves, because then you cover a greater range of the guitar and the strings, etc., and the frets. That's fine, we will come to that, but for now we're just laying the groundwork.
Okay.
At the moment, you understand the need to include that extra 9th tone. We're talking about improvisation, and jazz where improvisation is probably the most used. The need to understand the tones and the relationship of the tones is what we're building by including that 9th tone. That's the melody element. Now we're going to look at the harmonic or harmony element. And that is usually referred to as chords. But in this instance, we're going to look at arpeggios. The reason is an arpeggio is likened to a broken chord. So we are looking at chords, but not simultaneous tones. We're still looking at the melodic run, but we're looking at the relationship of those tones now as we see them in chords. So, as you're thinking, can you put in your frame of mind the major arpeggio for the C scale?
Well, it's going to be the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th of the scale for definite.
Right.
I'm not too sure what else apart from back to the root of the scale at the top. So you can put lots of other things in, I'm sure.
Very good, and we are going to put a few other things in now. Right. Because you correctly stated that the arpeggio consists of the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th and the 8th.
Yes.
But we added, when we did the melody, when we did the scale,
A ninth.
we added the ninth.
So we could have
So
that.
what we're going to do is we're going to remove the eighth,
Okay.
and we're going to replace it with the seventh, add the ninth, and it completes our harmony approach.
Mhm.
So therefore we're going to play the first, the third, the fifth, the seventh, and the ninth.
We're going to try to.
Let's start here. That's right.
Okay, let's try this.
That's third.
Yeah.
Now the fifth, good. Now the seventh. This is the major seventh.
I used to do these language learning courses. They had these really, really stupid people being taught. Yeah. Sorry about this, everyone. Okay, I think I can do the first, third, and fifth.
Good. There's the major seventh.
This would be the eighth.
That's right, but we want the ninth. That one, that one. That's right. So that's it. Lovely. There you have it. There's the
Genius.
There's the arpeggio of the major seventh scale, because we've included that major seventh B, and then we added the D at the end, which means it's the ninth note in,
Yes.
in the sequence. Basically what we're doing, we're changing our framework. When we think of arpeggios, normally we think of the 1, 2, 5, 8, which is the standard
Yes.
arpeggio. Now we're extending that because we're moving away from the standard and we're incorporating these other tones
Yes.
to give the music, the sound, a different flavour,
Yes.
which is what we need to appreciate. Right, so we've done it from the E string, 9th fret. Now we're going to do the same thing
You say that.
from the A string, 3rd fret. Just think about what we've done.
Okay, so
We're
it's
playing-
similar initially, isn't it? So
Yes. Good. Then the D, that's it. Lovely. All right, you got that?
yeah, it's very slow though.
That's okay. In terms of understanding and computing, if you think about the notes as well as what you're playing on the guitar.
Yes.
The guitar is an interesting instrument because you have effectively 6 mini keyboards laid out for you. And different to the piano, the notes are not that readily recognizable.
True.
So what we're doing here is we are familiarizing ourselves with not only tone but position as well.
Yes. To evolve with this improvisation stuff, it's a lot by ear, but you do also need to know what each of the places on the keyboard are named. Was that fair to say?
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the major.
Question. Oh, it's just you said we're going to talk about melody and now we're going to talk about harmony, but what we've still done is notes one after the other, albeit in an arpeggio. How does the arpeggio connect to the idea of harmony then, which is notes at the same time?
So basically what I should have said then, thank you for that clarification. We're doing melody, we're going to do harmony, but what we're doing is the in-between.
Right.
Between the melody and the harmony, which is what the arpeggio is, because the arpeggio is the broken harmony, still displayed as a melody.
Would it be something special to the guitar that harmony can only occur between strings? Obviously you can't have a harmony of 2 notes on the same string.
That's right, they haven't developed that yet.
So your arpeggio, if you're harmonizing along that arpeggio, you can only be harmonizing between notes on separate strings.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very good.
If you're interested in the continuation of this series, please contact info@life-4-music.com.